Hello boys and girls, welcome to BenchART. I'm for Classic, and for today what I do have in it is No More Heroes, running on an Intel UHD 620, a game developed by Grasshopper and ported over to the PC and Switch thanks to the engine software. This game uses their in-house engine, so it's not an engine that we usually see. And today I decided to take this game to the test and see how it runs on the Intel GPU. This game doesn't offer pretty much any graphical setting, so the only setting you have it is a launcher outside the game that includes option for full screen or not full screen and what type of anti-aliasing that you want, FXAA or 2x MSAA, 4 or 8 times. So I decided to take it to the test with FXAA because MSAA is way too much for this card, and I decided to take the test with 720p, 900p and 1080p. The game it is locked to 60 frames per second and it is exactly where you want to stay in this game, and so I decided that the best approach for this game it is to play with 720p using FXAA, and also the game dropped below 60 frames per second about 16% or 15% of the time, so it's a respectable value and I think it's fine. Looking to the requirements, we can clearly see that we weren't supposed to be playing this, since this game asks for an i5 from the 4000 generation, 8 gigs of RAM, which is fine, but then they ask for a GTX 750 Ti, which the Intel UHD 620, it is no match to it. So probably these minimum requirements are for 1080p and 60 frames per second, possibly, alright? So what can I tell about the performance of the game? So first of all, I want to tell that this port to the PC and Switch done by engine software, it is based off of the Nintendo Wii version. The Nintendo Wii version was the first version of the game to be available, but then appears other versions with different names that were used for the PS3 and the Xbox 360. But as far as I know, it was developed by a different team. They added a lot of stuff that possibly the main developer didn't really like to see there, I don't know. But officially done by this developer, the only game that it was done, it was the Wii version, the Nintendo Wii version. So it is exactly the same version that engine software it is using in here. So we are not using the PS3 or Xbox 360 version, which is very revamped visually. No, we have this old version with these old visuals, PS2 style, GTA San Andreas, whatever. Alright. And that's the reason why the Intel UHD 620 goes so well with the game. Alright, bottom of the line, it's that. But there is one effect in here that comes to ruin us all. All of it includes for desktop cards, laptop cards. It destroys the frame rate in every card. It depends how well the GPUs handle it. For example, my desktop card handles it quite well. But for example, I can't play the game at 4K without dropping, which is stupid given the visuals of this. But here we go. This game have this splash blood effect, which looks awesome and resembles a little bit of Kill Bill on the Asian fight with Uma Thurman. It resembles a lot that moment, and it is cool to see this in here. Now, what is not cool about this effect is that when you kill 1, 2 and 3 guys at the same time, the splash effect it is simply huge. There is more particles than objects on screen. It's just insane, alright? And this entirely kills the frame rate for all the PCs, alright? Some more than the others, some people don't really have issues with this. But what I want to say is that, for example, the GPU is doing fine with 60 or 50% of its usage being used to render the game, but then a splash effect of blood appears like this and the GPU goes immediately to close to 100% or 80% or something like that, because this effect is very demanding for the game, and I don't understand the decision behind this, honestly. I think it's way too much. They could probably put it a little bit more on the lower side, but no, it's completely outrageous. There is so much blood all over the place. Every time you kill one guy, there is so much particles going on, and this is usually what kills the frame rate, because the game just runs super stable at 60 frames per second. But when you kill a guy and there is so much blood on the screen or close to the screen, the more closer, the more demanding it gets. Well, the frame rate just drops. It is unplayable because of that? Absolutely not. It is super playable. Nintendo Switch also suffers from these issues. So Nintendo Switch also runs flawlessly at 60 frames per second, but then you kill 2 or 3 guys and the splash effects comes in and the Nintendo Switch starts to drop frames like there is no tomorrow. All right. Well, that's the state of the performance of this port. I really enjoy it anyway, aside from the fact that there is no graphical option for you to select the resolution. Yeah, that's the thing that you might be thinking. How the hell did I select 720p if this game doesn't have an option for you to select the resolution? Well, this is quite simple. The only thing you need to do is before starting the game, you need to go to your Windows options and you need to change your desktop resolution to 720p. It sucks, I know, entirely. It sucks entirely. I know that, absolutely. But that's the only way you have to play it like this. Alright, you need to change the resolution to 720p before starting the game. I would really love to see a patch, a mode done by the community, whatever, a tool that would help us out in not doing that every time we do start the game. Alright, it's a small request, but I would love to see that. But apart from that, I think everything it is cool. It is nice to have one more game that we can play on our Intel UHD 620, and above all, it is super good that we had an exclusive that wasn't available on the PC, despite it was older or not, it doesn't matter, we have it now available, and we can run it, alright? So that's all about the performance. Let's now talk a little bit about the game, shall we? Alright, so No More Heroes, it is absolutely insane. I never played anything like this before, and I'm glad they ported this over to the PC. So first of all, this is kind of an hack and slash game. So in order to attack the enemies, if they are using a high stance, you need to make attacks below. If they are using a low stance, you need to use higher attacks. So you need to take attention with that. You can use kicks and punches to try to knock out the opponent, and you can perform charged attacks, but that consumes battery of your swords. Of course you can reload the sword, but that takes a little bit of time, and that's pretty much like it. And every time you execute an enemy, as you see, there is 3 spins that turn inside the screen, and when those 3 spins get into a combination, depending on the combination that you get a power up for a limited time that ranges from enemies being in slow motion and you being fast, to stuff like firing fireballs or something like that, to a point where you can kill all the enemies on screen if you are close to them by pressing some quick time events. So basically it's like that, but super fun. It is not to be taken seriously. Honestly I like the artistic feeling of the game. The soundtrack, it is silly, the cutscenes are super silly, and that's what I enjoy about the game. It is not to be taken seriously. There is also kind of a small open world moment, but I don't really think it is important. It just serves for you to travel your bike to the main objectives and to the minigames. Yes, minigames. This game contains tons of minigames like Yakuza. I'm not going to show them to spoil you, so just check reviewers that does show you those minigames. But essentially, the game contains tons of minigames like Yakuza, and there is this main story where your objective it is to conquer the #1 rank of the fighters. So it feels a little bit like Need for Speed Most Wanted Blacklist, but instead of being racing, it is kind of fighting. All right, that's essentially that. But this thing, all the entire game, it is super silly. So the port to Switch and the original one from Nintendo Wii, it was ranked up on Metacritic with 83% of score. I really like the game. I just think it's very limited, this port to the PC. The fact that you can select resolution and all that other graphical options makes me want to give a worse score to it. But aside from that, and only focusing on the score, I think the 83, it is a deserved score. Also, the game price on Steam at the moment, it costs $19.99. So it's $20. It is pretty much the price of the Yakuza games when they were released, the old ones. So I think it's fine. I think it's awesome that we are receiving games that we didn't add before for $20. Despite they are old, I think it's a nice price. It's better than they are trying to selling. For example, recently the Shin Megami Tensei 3, which is an old game, and they sold us the game for $50. I think it's insane. At least No More Heroes it is doing the price thing the same as Yakuza. $20, I think it's a good price for the game. So with this, I think I will just shut up myself in here and let you enjoy the gameplay. Alright, so hope you keep enjoying the rest of the gameplay, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
Some call him the Holy Sword. He is good, but I know you can take him. You are the man. I am the tiger. He only looks tough because his mother was an ugly bitch. Take it to the red zone. Assassin's Way at full throttle. Unleash your power. Show no mercy. Bring me death metal head. Enter when you are prepared to fight. I believe in you and your force. Now, off to the Garden of Madness.
Sweet. Yes. Sweet.
Quite beautiful, wouldn't you say? Paid for with the lives of many. When you have the strength to take life for yourself, that is true wealth. I am free of desire. So long as I have this scenery to look upon, I need nothing more. Please leave me be.
You're the one leaving. In a body bag.
I'll only say this once more. Leave here now!
Huh. Me leave? You obviously don't know me.
You don't get it, do you?
Hey, you know what paradise is, right?
Paradise?
This is paradise. The place where dreams are fulfilled. Well, you've had your dream, old man. Time to wake up!
This is no paradise.
All right. Then what is it?
A place to die.
Huh. I'm glad you and I are on the same page here.
So naive. You have no idea, do you? What a pity. You make an old man cry. Arrogant, crude little shits like you come around from time to time. Listen well, young one. The wall is high, higher than you will ever know. Ultimate sacrifice is sublime. Now draw.
Huh. You can take that to your grave.
We get over.
Gas house, fast cars, dining in style with the world-class chef.
We get this over.
Every day full of excitement and luxury. That'd be that'll be my life. That's how it goes down. And for the old killers, they'll croak anyway. I guess you can call this really nothing. Paradise. There's this sense of doom running down my It's trying to suck the life out of me. Get rid of that miserable veil. Go! My instincts. Can't find the exit. Go! Can't find the exit.
My way. Extraordinary. The moment I've been waiting for. The name Holy Sword is now yours.
You're joking, right? I don't care about titles or power. I just want to be #1.
Then master the ways of the assassin.
Here's your ticket to paradise, old man.